Okay.
Hi, everybody. It's Linda G, and I'm here today with our wonderful Mel with a I love your shirt.
Yay. I put it on this morning. I said it's bright. And
Right. And
I'm working today because I'm taking off tomorrow because I get my eye surgery. But so I told him, but you got to book out an hour because I'm on Linda G's show.
Okay. Well, we don't have to take up the whole hour.
No, that's fine. Typically, I don't work on Mondays, but anyway.
Okay, my friend. So you posted yourself. What kind of questions did your people ask?
Okay, Ginny W says prayers for surgery. Thank you. She just said, oh, she wants to know if rent prices will go down by next spring.
Oh God, yes.
I see like housing market huge correction. One of my students in Sedona said we call it a correction, not a crash. So I'm like, okay, it's
okay.
So
it's just like what the stock market's going through.
Correct.
It's a correction. It would have a lot of air in it.
But there's a huge correction coming.
Yeah,
I can see that. It started already. So that'll bring rent prices down. It'll bring prices down a little bit on housing.
Did you notice gas prices have gone down where you are?
Yes, they have.
Yeah, they've gone down here too. And chicken and stuff has gone down.
Yeah, because the supply chain shortage is like ending.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that was just price gouging on the part of the oil companies. So.
And the president said by July 4th, he's coming up with some game plan. Some sort of tax.
He's not going to be like Trump. Oh, the remember Trump with we got the best health care plan that's going to be announced and it never happened.
Right. At least Biden does what he says he's going to do. This morning I was semi-awake and asleep, but I was watching a show and they were talking about some deep interviews they had with people. And yeah, a lot of people are upset at Biden. A lot of people that voted for Biden think that he's doing it the wrong way. But they asked if they would vote for Biden again. And they said yes, because I would never go for Trump. Never do they want to step back in the Trump case.
Well, who was that judge? He was the sweetheart of the conservatives. He
was wonderful guy.
Yeah,
he testified at the commission.
Who did, or whatever his name was? I forget his name.
I can't remember. It's a weird get something. The last name is Gitt, I think.
No, this was a guy he was a judge, and his last name started with an H, and he's conservative, but I mean, the stuff he said was amazing because it was really against Trump. I mean, he said.
Well, they had a judge testify at the January 6th commission. Did you see him? He had a stroke. And he speaks very slowly.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's who I'm talking about.
I can't think of his last name.
His last name is it's ITT something. Anyway, yeah, he was the one that helped put Clarence Thomas in there.
Well, speaking of that, I want to get off the questions for a while. And remember, you and I, well, we've done so many shows, and I'm eternally grateful for that. Thank you. But anyway, we were talking about Ginny Thomas, and somebody asked, and both of us said she ain't out of the woods. And both yourself saw a huge investigation concerning her on January 6th. And
it's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening as we speak. And they're so funny because she said, oh, I'd be delighted to talk to them. Yeah, she just thinks she can get away. She can smooth over anybody. That may be the reason that Thomas has to leave. Something's going to happen. It could be a scandal or his health he might use health as a reason.
My guys are showing he'll use health as a reason, but it's based on not health, but what's going on with, he didn't recuse himself and what Ginny pulled and all of that. She better be careful because I see a lot of this handed over to the DOJ, and she's going to be under investigation with the DOJ, if not already.
Yeah. As
well as Clarence Thomas.
Yes, absolutely.
So him being on the Supreme Court does not make him immune from investigation.
Exactly.
The only thing is, I think he's waiting till after the midterms, because if he resigns any sooner, then they would get another like moderate on the court appointed by Biden. And he doesn't want that because the repubes are thinking that they're going to take over the House and the Senate.
But they're not.
I'm glad you said that because I keep saying the Democrats had better be on the defensive.
Right.
Because otherwise we could lose, even though I don't think we will. You know, I think these January 6th hearings help, but I think the biggest issue that's going to determine it is the economy and the inflation and stuff like that. And you said before the show that Biden's got a plan in July. And my feeling is my guide showed me that plan will work. So good.
Right, right.
And then right before the midterms, I'm seeing some kind of stimulus coming out that'll help people. It's political, but it'll also help.
I told you, our Biden knows how to. Whenever he says the check's in the mail, people go, okay, I'll vote for you.
Right. You'd said that actually.
But anyway, he's I know people are so worried, and these people talking trash. You just told me about Texas coming up with a resolution that Biden is just a temporary, he's not a real president.
Brian Bodine of Texas, whoever he is, some repube goof. I'm looking at my notes here. That's why I'm looking off to the side. Adopted a resolution in Texas, and the Republican Party there agreed with it. They said it's true. He adopted a resolution that Biden wasn't the winner of the 2020 election because of election fraud. And he also said the rights of the insurrectionists that have been charged with crimes, that their rights have been violated. Now, these people were trying to overturn the government. And the platform also that he wrote included a section calling homosexuality an abnormal lifestyle choice.
Right.
No, his is an abnormal lifestyle choice to be that ingrained in fascism and the big lie of the repubes, right? Oh, and also that it opposes all efforts to validate transgender identity.
Wow. And also they're talking about seceding from the United States.
And the Republican Party went along with it. Well,
yeah, but if they go into seceding from the United States, that's a huge crime.
Well, no, it's illegal to secede from the Union, if you will. That came about after after the Civil War, because the southern states seceded. But in a way, a lot of those southern states, Texas included, under the governorship of Abbott, the goof.
Abbott's going to lose.
He is going to lose. But the bottom line is they're trying their own form of secession already.
Yeah.
I mean, to keep talking about and perpetuating the big lie, which they know is BS, but they just want to keep their power.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sad, but it's not going to happen.
You know, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, her spirit showed me that, you know, there was this little flicker of light against all this darkness and with Trump that he created, and the light would get bigger and then it would get smaller. It would get bigger and it would get smaller, but each time it pushed back the darkness and the darkness pushed back the light, but ultimately the light won out.
Ruth said this?
She showed me that her spirit showed me that.
Wow.
I've said it on this show with you and I a lot of times. So what she's saying is what seems to be going on in Texas and a lot of those places with the voter suppression. For a while, it might look like they win the battle, but they won't win the war.
Hey, yes. Ruthie.
Yay. Ruth is my hero. Okay.
Well, there's more of us than there are of them. There's more reasonable people.
Correct.
That don't want to get in this drama. I met a lovely lady today who is one of my favorite clients. And she told me, unfortunately, everybody is Republican. She lives in Florida. Her husband even, and she said they just don't talk politics. Her kids are, but she said the younger grandchildren, the 16-year-old and another age, minors, are not, they think the way grandma thinks.
Well, my response to not talking politics is like putting a dog turd under the rug. You can't see it, but at some point it's going to smell.
Well, so she just doesn't because her husband's a good man and she just doesn't understand why he would believe in Trump. It's very hard for people like me. I do have a couple of friends that are Trumpsters, but I just don't talk politics to them. But I'm not around them. It's not like a husband.
We've got friends who you know, who are Trumpsters or who are Republican as well. And we get in some really good political discussions, but we don't hate each other.
Right. And there's some really good Republicans, especially on the news. And look who's all testifying against Trump. They're all Republicans.
Well, you know, you had said at I that once somebody comes forward, they all will
Yeah.
start to, and that's what's going on. And a lot of those Republicans behind the scenes, they know that this is a bunch of crap, but they're fearful of, you know, Trump's wrath, or they just don't want to lose the base. Well, guess what?
So Mel, I mean, psychically, what do you see as the ending for DeSantis? I think some sort of scandal's coming up.
My guides have shown me him out of office, and my guides have shown me that there is going to be investigations about him because of scandals with some of the people he's involved with Trump and a lot of other things. And so he's going to be under investigation as well. And
well, I also see Trump and Roger Stone doing something under the table to let go of some records that people are going to see. Because, you know, Trump and Roger Stone hate him.
Right, exactly. And he tried to affiliate with Trump because he thought that would give him a run for president. But remember this, DeSantis is competition for Trump, and Trump doesn't want any competition. So under the table, there's going to be things released that will implicate DeSantis, and it's going to bite him.
Yeah, and Disney, and this woman I talked to today that lives in Florida, she said, you know, including herself, they're getting ready to go up $500 on their property tax because of what he did with Disney.
Well, that's true, but the thing is you do not want to get a big corporation like Disney on your bad side.
Yes,
because they can come out with a lot as well, and not just donate money to buy a candidate. So you know that Disney ain't going to support DeSantis. And you know what? He just did that because Disney didn't like his stance against gay people. But you know, it's going to be in court for years, even if it even ever changes.
When they get the new governor, it's totally a nothing burger.
Correct. But DeSantis awakened a sleeping giant, you know.
Yeah.
Disney's not going to support him, and a lot of other big companies won't as well.
So give me a question, my friend.
Okay, Laura, right. Julian Assange, this is a good one, is said to be moved to the US. Is he appealing the extradition? Oh, he is appealing the extradition. But what do you see for him? Will he be pardoned? Will he go to prison? I see him here. The appeal, I don't think is going to work. And I see him on trial.
That's what I'm seeing too. I think I felt that for a while.
Unless you get some Republican in that would ultimately pardon him. But for right now, I see him here. I think they're trying to put it off until after the elections to see who's going to take power and when. But I
don't see him pardoned.
I see him actually in jail for a while.
Yeah.
I don't see a pardon.
I wanted to ask you, what do you see with, I've always seen Jared in a jumper in jail. And I'd like to know, because it's not going to be about the insurrection, because even Don Jr. begged Mark Meadows, please tell my dad to stop this. Please, everybody was begging, get Trump to stop this, because he's ruining everything we've worked so hard for.
Well, he did. I mean, everything he touched turned to doo-doo.
Yeah, but it's not for that Jared goes in jail, and I'd love to get your hit on it.
I see Kushner under investigation. Well, not due to January 6th, but some of the deals he was pulling with the Russians.
And Saudi Arabia.
And the Saudi Arabia. But also, the New York thing is not over. Okay. Don't forget, that's still being investigated. and they're going to look at Kushner and where did all that money go?
Yeah.
So they're going to be taking a look at him. You're right, not with the insurrection, but other things.
Right.
And he's out of the woods. And Trump's not out of the woods. In Georgia, I see charges filed against him. And in New York, I see charges filed against Trump, civil charges anyway. So you're right. Kushner will be indicted, but not for January 6th.
And I don't see the DOJ stepping away on Trump. I see them filing subpoenas.
Well, you know, my guides had shown me, and I keep saying this, that there was a door and Merrick Garland was whispering to people behind a closed door about what they were doing and just told them not to say anything. So my feeling is the DOJ has been investigating January 6th and will investigate people like Kushner and et al., others, because of other things that'll start to come to fruition. And so specifically, they're going to be looking at the election of 2016 as well. And how did Kushner play in that? So I'm thinking he would be under indictment for some of that stuff as well.
Wow. Okay.
So the DOJ is investigating a lot of this already. They're just not saying anything about it.
Yeah, they're very hush hush.
And it held.
Yeah.
So my guides are telling me, yes, I see legal papers all around Kushner. And they're flying all around him and he's grabbing at them. And then they settle. And as they settle, I see him dressed in orange.
Okay.
So that means indictment due to legalities, and he's going to try to get out of it, but it won't work.
That makes total sense.
All right. So do you have another one or you want me to go ahead?
No, you go ahead.
Okay, this is Courtney Ellers. Oh, that was nice. She said,
Hi, Courtney.
You and Linda are a brilliant, intuitive source of guidance, humor, and support. And she says, wishing you well with your surgery. Yay. Next one is a good one. Giga Hellblaze. I love that name. What's the fate of the 2 US veterans held by Russia after fighting in Ukraine? And the third one is missing and no one knows what happened to him. Russia is saying that captives will be getting the death penalty. Well, if they give our people the death penalty, that might give us a right to step into Ukraine.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they better think.
But technically, it's very hard for the United States because they said don't go in and fight the war. Americans were not under American flag allowed to do that. And basically America can't help them. Although they can make sure they're in comfortable settings and that they have decent meals, etc., under some international thing, but America can't go in and save them.
No, they can't go into Russia. But if Russia executes them, they're probably going to say for helping the enemy or something or being anti-Russian.
Well, what about executing those Englishmen?
Right. But it's not, but my point is that is going to sever a lot of relationships with United States and Russia for a very long time.
It's already severed.
Well, even more.
Oh.
Even more. There's still things going on that we don't know about, but even more. And, there's going to be people that are arrested here that are going to, because they were spying for Russia, and they'll get locked up for a long time as well.
Well, they already have arrested a bunch of people here.
No, but there's more coming. And these are going to be long-term arrests. I don't know if they kill those soldiers, even though United States said don't go there, don't fight.
Well, they're not going to kill them because Putin's not going to be around long enough to kill them. That's some good news there. That's
true. But if they do, it's going to be an SHI, what show, because even if the Americans can't go in, they're going to say, wait a minute, these people were fighting by Ukraine. Russia executed them. They were our citizens, and therefore the United States will retaliate some way. You mark my words.
Okay.
And it might be retaliation through helping Ukraine even more.
Okay.
But they will retaliate.
Okay.
And don't kid yourself. My guides are showing me that the U.S. is already engaging in misinformation and Russia, or I won't call it, our propaganda against Putin to have people see him in a different light.
Yeah,
We're doing that behind the scenes.
right, right.
So
So,
good.
yeah, but I do see Putin having to go.
He will. People are asking about his health. And I know he had like cancer, like thyroid cancer, but he still feels very ill to me. I don't see how
Yeah,
long.
me too.
So,
It's like we're looking at our watch going, go already, go already.
yeah, right. When? All right. Pat Lee. Aloha, Mel. Even if they weren't actively involved or participating, dozens and dozens of people in and around the White House knew about the planned insurrection well ahead of January 6th. That's right, they did. And the commission showed that. They said nothing and did nothing to stop it. Can these folks be held accountable for allowing it to proceed? If I know you're going to rob a bank, and if I don't try to stop you, that doesn't make me a criminal.
No,
Now, if I drive you to rob the bank, that makes me
it makes you a part of it.
So just because people knew about it and didn't do anything doesn't make them an accessory. They would have
Right.
had to have some sort of direct or indirect activity with it. But a lot of people are going to be charged with being an accessory to it. That's what's going to come out as well.
Okay.
Like, who was that senator or that House representative or something who gave the people the tour the day?
Oh, and totally lied and said, no, I never gave a tour. And then they have pictures of him giving the tour. Well, those were just family members. I mean, he just lie.
Well, he's being investigated too. And there's like 2 or 3 more in the House and the Senate that are going to be investigated for giving away information to the Proud Boys and STEM and that organization.
Is anybody nervous over there? Is anybody sweating in their pants?
Some, but I tend to think they think that at some point they can take things back over and they're going to be pardoned anyway. And, you know, it was Trump who brought out, I mean, this racism and bigotry from those people never went away. It was just pushed underground for a while.
Yeah.
And then Trump, when he gave a wink and a nod to those people, those Nazis that were marching, that just flamed the fire for all this hatred to come back out.
Yes, exactly.
You know, the rest of us aren't that way. This is like an American apartheid. It's this group of white fascist supremacists telling the rest of us what we can and can't do. And we're not going to tolerate that. My guides say we will not tolerate that.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I mean, you know, for a while, again, it might look as if they're winning the battle, but they won't win the war.
No.
I mean, the rest of us are going to stand up and say, we've had it. We're not going to allow that in America.
So are you feeling any famous people getting ready to cross pretty soon? I got a real big hit that someone's going to cross before the end of them.
Right before we started, I wrote the Queen. I had a feeling she's going to be crossing.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. I had the Queen down too.
I mean, I don't like to predict, like, I don't know. But the
I
Queen,
saw a famous man, an actor, dying too.
actually 2.
Two? Okay.
Well, no, hold on. It's one very famous actor and one very famous actress.
Okay. Hey, what is that drink you're drinking? What's the name of it?
This is green tea.
Okay. There used to be one I used to get from them that was so you could wake your happy butt up, but they don't do it anymore. I can't think of the name of it.
I drink 2 of these green teas a day. Iced green tea, unsweetened. And it's a nice blood thinner. And I don't know, I just like it. It's better than iced. Well, it is iced, but regular old iced tea. But once you get used to this, it's hard to get used to, but once you get used to it.
Yeah, it's got a weird flavor. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
Okay.
That was a good question, Pat Lee. Okay. Oh, here's another one from her. This is good. Lots of explosive revelations have come about Lauren Bobert or Bobert. Without getting too much into specifics. This is a good one. Were Bobert and Cruz romantically involved?
I got asked that yesterday too.
Oh, you did? What'd you say?
Let's see what you have to say.
Personally, when I look at her and him, I'm like, "Oof."
But that's how she got into office, was his help.
I know she looks like a Billy. He looks like a Billy Goat. He does. I said he's living proof that human beings really did copulate with mountain goats because he looks like a Billy Goat.
What do you think?
I tend to think there's some hanky panky going on there. Yeah.
Not anymore, but there was.
No. But past, absolutely.
Okay.
I don't know what you thought, but I felt it.
Yeah, she was a escort or whatever you call it. She was online with these big old shoes. She's just a little thing, you know.
Well, I don't think
It's very sad. It's very, very sad. They were bankrupt. She has a husband that got arrested for exposing himself to elementary school children. And then now she's got like 300 and something million dollars in the bank. How do you think that happened?
But easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
That can, but the point, well, I see a lot of that money confiscated because if they can prove that she got that through ill-gotten means, like through illegal activity, they can take that money.
Well, I see her husband blabbing.
Oh,
I don't know if something happens, she doesn't win, and then she decides to leave him. Something's going to happen, and I see him saying the truth of what went on with Cruz and her.
There'll be some extracurricular activity with her outside of the marriage, and I ain't talking about school.
Okay.
And so he's going to find out about that. And, he's supposed to be some kind of arch conservative as well, and a redneck. But what's going to hit the fan, and you're right, he's going to sing like a canary. But I'm just curious, what was your take on the question, like, what about Bobert and Cruz? Did you feel anything in the past?
Yeah, I felt like something that that's how they met. Yeah.
Anyway, of course he'll say no, but entertainment purposes only, you all.
Entertainment purposes only.
Oh, tomorrow's the summer solstice, the longest day of the year in this hemisphere. So
wow.
Okay. Moxie Cha-Cha. I like that. Moxie Cha-Cha. Yay. Moxie Cha-Cha says, have a beautiful solstice, Mel and Linda. Moxie says, I feel there are more changes coming and the January 6th committee is helping. Question, will Lauren Boebert lose her congressional seat?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. I see her out.
Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I was on the fence. I want her to lose, but I can't quite tell it. If she loses, it'll be close.
Well, whether she loses or wins, I still see her out.
Okay.
She's losing her effectiveness. And still not out of the woods with the whole Matt Gaetz thing. He's not.
And also she's not doing anything for Georgia.
Well, she's clearly a racist and a bigot, how she harasses other people.
And so are the people she represents.
But yet when somebody did it to her, she didn't like it.
No.
So I don't know. I think Georgia doesn't even want her.
Well, they came out and a lot of them voted for her.
Really?
For the primary, yeah.
Yeah, but what does that mean? That means it's a little group of people from a very ultra conservative area in Georgia, okay, that still buy into the big lie and all the conspiracy crap that she's promoting.
Yeah. And
a lot of it boils down to just ignorance. Ignorance is not bad. Ignorance just means you don't know.
Right. Right.
But
I had a Lisa that said that I had always predicted Brett Kavanaugh way back when I was in Oklahoma, and people said, Linda, please say he doesn't get in. And I saw him getting in, but I saw someone put their hand on his shoulder. He was wearing the robe and saying, come with us. So that told me he wasn't going to be on there for very long.
I never saw,
so they said they're losing hope. But remember, you guys, I said Bill Barr was going to do the right thing when he came in, and Bill Barr didn't. He turned and helped with disengage the Mueller report and just ended up being Trump's puppet. So that was so disappointing. But at the end of the day, he ended up doing the right thing. Sometimes my guides give me something, and it's like I always said Trump Trump was going to lose, Biden was going to win. But we went through all that crap in the meantime, and then people lose faith. They're like, well, what's going on? So somebody just wrote and said, you told us, Kavanaugh, I'm losing faith. What's going on?
Okay, here's the deal. For example, I went public on Fox News here in Chicago, a gay psychic on Fox News in Chicago, go figure. And I predicted that Hillary would win the election. She did win, actually. She won the popular vote. She didn't win the electoral vote, but she won the popular vote. Most of us thought she'd win. But then the thing happened with Trump. So I just said, okay, well.
A lot of people thought that she was going to win.
Well, she won the popular vote. Maybe that's what I was saying. But, like with Barr.
Oh, but Trump, he hated that part. He said, I won by a landslide.
I know, which he didn't. But, Barr doing the right thing, he did tell the truth in the congressional hearings, absolutely. But him doing the right thing was more about him saving his own butt.
Yeah.
And getting himself out of trouble. And that book he wrote, okay. So, he did flip on Trump. Yes.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I said he'll do the right thing. And it happened. It just happened years later. Now, what about Kavanaugh? My prediction on Kavanaugh.
But I still don't think Barr's out of the woods either. I still
no.
He had
bad cards.
Kavanaugh, I have always seen off the court. There's going to be a lot that's going to come out, more about that Christine Blasey Ford stuff. And then at some point he lied to Congress. And
the FBI didn't do any research on all the hits. They totally ignored it because Trump said ignore it.
Right. And so I just don't see him on the court for super duper long time.
But it could be, I saw him having to talk to Congress. I saw him sitting there being pissed off he has to talk to Congress. But I'm feeling it might be more at the when the Dems get in again for the next. I even saw Mitch McConnell saying he was done, like he's walking away. But when the Dems get in again this November, then they are going to have more ability to take up things. Like they're going to really hit, especially with this Ginny Thomas. This was good news for us because what it's doing, it's cracking open the Supreme Court. What do you mean you don't have to look at, like a fox looking after the chicken house? What do you mean you don't have to look at the details of being right? Like you can just do what you want, start an insurrection or be part of it, not recuse yourself. And, they have no boundaries. So boundaries are getting ready to come in.
I agree. But, some people, you get hit over the head with the truth and they don't want to see it because they want to believe what they want to believe. So, all this about Bill Barr, all this is going to come out about Kavanaugh. There will still be certain people that just won't believe it. And certain repubes who'll say they don't, but they'll know it is true, the stuff that comes out, but they just want to hang on to their power. Okay, having said all of that, it doesn't change anything. I still see, you're right, that Kavanaugh will be off the court. Now, what I don't know is if he's impeached or if they have enough on him where he just decides to resign.
Okay.
But I see him writing something on paper and signing it, and it looks like it might be more a resignation.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but that's what my guides show me.
Okay.
But you're right, there's going to be a lot of crap that comes out.
It's a lot of stuff with the Federalist Society and all kinds of stuff.
The biggest issue, and my light bulb just went on in my head, that I think they're going to look at Kavanaugh and some others, is where did the money come from?
Yes.
And I think
that's the Federalist Society.
And I think it's that dark money that's going to be the downfall.
Yeah. So you got another question, my friend?
I do. Let's see here. Michelle says, sending us love. She enjoys us. Okay, this is a good one. Bugaboo insect feeders. I love these names.
What is it called?
Bugaboo insect feeders. I love the name.
I don't know what that is.
A bugaboo. I don't know. It just sounds good. Insect.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay. Hello, Mel. and Linda, with Putin's health failing and I think it's Xi Jinping of China having a brain bleed. Oh, he had an aneurysm. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
What does this mean for the geopolitical scene in Eurasia? Well, in China, they'll just put another person in there.
Yeah.
You know, if they have elections in China, you vote for the candidates the party puts in place to see.
Right, exactly.
But anyway, I do see somebody more moderate and a little bit more allowing a little bit more freedom. But I think in China, ultimately, the same thing is going to happen there that happened in Russia when Gorbachev signed that he disbanded the Communist Party. And I see a leader coming in China at some point that will do that as well.
Oh, that makes total sense.
All right.
That makes total sense.
You know, will North Korea eventually fail? Well, all dictators usually die off. And the guy's name that's the dictator of North Korea. Oh, what's his name?
I think he's already dead. I think his sister's taken over and they've got a body double. That's what I said. I'm sticking with it.
Well, at some point, I see somebody coming into North Korea that's going to be a lot more moderate and whatever. But I, in North Korea, see a revolution coming. So a general or somebody's going to come in and say, no, we don't want this authoritarian.
Oh, there's so many poor people. And they're starving and they don't dare go against the king. You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of them look at him as a god too, because that's how they're brought up. But there will be people that'll start to question it, and it's there now.
Okay.
So, you know, I had predicted many, many years ago that I saw United Germany. I saw the wall coming down. I predicted on radio, and everybody thought I was crazy. Well, I'm a little crazy, but and at some point, I do see that kind of invisible wall coming down between North and South Korea and being a united Korea, a united democratic Korea.
Right.
Just gonna take a while. Okay. So, somebody wants to know, she wants to know Tibet's future, because Tibet is owned by China and the Chinese massacred a lot of the people in Tibet. You know, I think they'll have some autonomy within China. It might take another 50 years before Tibet's autonomous, but ultimately I see it being autonomous. So, all right. Now, I've never heard of this. This is a good question. Will China stop the cultural denigration of its minority groups? Well, we haven't done it. We're still working. It'll get better. But I'm probably mispronouncing that, but Uyghurs, I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is. She said that they're being persecuted. So I don't know.
I don't know who they are. Yeah.
But I see it getting better.
Well, my friend, I'm going to cut this one short only because you've got to go back to work and you're getting surgery tomorrow.
Well, I've got a few more minutes left if you want to keep going or you need to go or something. But
well, the Dubs are getting ready. They're doing the parade, so I got to watch that.
Oh, good. Okay, let's do one more. Barb Mecca wants to know if former Congressman Devin Nunes did he receive money from Russia?
Yes, of course.
Of course. And if yes, will that be investigated? Well, that's going to come out.
Oh, all that's coming out.
Yep.
And by the way, that radio thing or whatever was a drop. Terrible.
I didn't hear about it. What was it?
Remember he left?
Oh, yeah. That's right. He took over Trump's supposed.
Yeah.
And we'd said then, our guide showed us that Trump was using him as a patsy, and that's exactly what was happening.
He got him out of there, so.
You got it.
All right, well, honey, and then I'll see you next Monday on your show.
All right, sweetie. Love you.
Love you guys. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Right.